keep doing this until you don't want to keep doing the lockdown. Is there any way that, are you considering either hardening the border on the Murray in some way, or is there any way it is feasible to send maybe the second dose contingency up to those border towns? Can you send more vax to the border? Is that a crazy idea, or could that help to stop the virus coming back in?
Well, notwithstanding the Mildura issue, we don't have a problem along the border. That bubble is operating well, and I know that locals in those communities take their responsibilities very seriously, and they want to maintain that freedom of movement for all the reasons we've talked about many times: healthcare, education, all those sorts of things, right? So it's not like I think we've got a problem that's particular to that area, to that bubble. It's more a matter of people flying over or driving through that bubble and potentially unknowingly coming to Melbourne and bringing the virus with them. Again, I want to be very clear. In anything I say, I'm not running a commentary or a criticism or a grading of New South Wales. We wish them well, only good things. Because as soon as they get it under control, that takes a lot of pressure off us and Adelaide and Brisbane and the whole country, right? So just in terms of the border, I'm not here today to make announcements, but we are actively looking at what more we can do. It's a pretty hard border now. Like, police they're using technology, drones, choppers, they're doing all random stops, they're doing all sorts of things, and overall compliance with the permit system has been very, very high, very high. But I certainly can't rule out further changes and further limiting movement from New South Wales to Victoria. I see a further case in regional New South Wales today. I think that just confirms that we made some tough calls about all of that state being a red zone. That's not easy. We know that dramatically inconveniences lots of people, but so too does this virus travelling. It's got to be pulled up in Sydney. It just has to be. But our job in the first instance is to pull it up here out of this outbreak. The cases started in Sydney. We've got to end them here, and that's what we're determined to do. And then we'll have to look at the border and if there's anything further we can do. But we come off, I just want to stress, a very high base. And I've had discussions personally with the Chief Commissioner about this, and he's happy with the way things are going. But if there's anything more we can do, then of course we won't hesitate to do it.
What's your message to regional Victoria at the moment? You did say on Thursday you try and release some regions.
That's simply not possible, and I think we see cases. We started with cases in Barwon Heads, Balan, Bacchus Marsh. We then had cases Phillip Island. We've had a case up in Mildura, and we have many exposure sites and many people who are close contacts who are isolating across regional Victoria. This is an outbreak that has touched all of us, and therefore the rules have to. If I could release parts of regional New South Wales, if I got advice to do that, then we would absolutely do that. I don't have that advice because it wouldn't be safe to do that. I'm not going to, for the sake. Plus, the other thing too is that whenever you have different rules, and the easiest thing is for a whole lot of people on the other side of politics to be, making pretty cheap points about this. This is serious. It's important that we protect people and keep them safe. I don't want a situation where, for the sake of being popular for a short period of time, you let it run in a regional community, only to have a situation where Melbourne is coming right down and can reopen, but we can't because we've got a problem in many different parts of regional Victoria.
So it's